At last, we've got the announcement of Anthony Joshua versus Dillian Whyte in the rematch, live on the Zone pay-per-view on the 12th of August. A lot of people did not quite imagine this fight going or being made the way that it's been made. And I say that because after their first fight, the talk was that if a rematch does happen down the line, that fight will be in a stadium, as the first fight was fireworks and they've both come on leaps and bounds from that first fight. However, boxing is a forever changing game, and these two's careers over the last couple of years have showed that they've both taken some heavy losses in that period, and a lot can be argued about their draw power. We know that boxing fans are a lot picky now. Now, with this fight being at the O2 Arena, what does it offer? This fight, O2 Arena is a special place. Probably one of my favourite arenas in the world, actually. Been lucky to go there a few times. However, this fight is a London fight, and to do it in the O2 Arena guarantees good ticket sales as long as it's supported with a good undercard. It will certainly sell out a lot quicker than the fight that Anthony Joshua had with Jermaine Franklin did. As I believe this fight is a make or break fight for both fighters' careers. And, whoever loses this fight, you can argue that the career is pretty much done. And what do they have left to chase? They've had the big paydays. They've had their title shots. AJ's already been a unified world champion. So if he loses to Dillian Whyte, what else is he still in the game for? Because it's a long, long climb back up to the top if he thinks that losing to Dillian Whyte could still mean that he's a viable opponent to fight for the world title. What does this mean for Dillian Whyte? If Dillian Whyte takes a loss, that would be his fourth career defeat. And it wouldn't be a good look, because every time he stepped up, he's taken a loss. He lost quite badly to Tyson Fury. He would have lost to Anthony Joshua twice, and then also the bad knockout against Alexander Povetkin. And I think that this is a really good fight for both fighters, because they're both at that crossroads of their career where a win for Anthony Joshua could, put him in good position and, in good preparation to fight for Deontay Wilder in Saudi Arabia. But then a win for Dillian Whyte could literally resurrect his career. A lot of people over the last few months, especially after the Tyson Fury loss, have written Dillian Whyte off, saying that Dillian Whyte's finished, he needs to retire, he's going to become the next Derek Chisora if he doesn't retire. But beating Anthony Joshua opens so many doors for him. And, it ruins plans in Saudi, because, it won't make sense for Saudi Arabia to give Anthony Joshua that mega payday and the big fight against Deontay Wilder in Saudi if Dillian Whyte knocks him out. And it won't make sense for Dillian Whyte to continue fighting if AJ knocks him out. So this really adds more intrigue to the fight, as both fighters, they're not quite as invincible as they once were. And a loss is literally career ending for both guys, because whoever loses this fight, where do they go? They're kind of in a situation where they accept that they won't be part of the big fights, or they retire. So no one wants to be in that position. So this is why I think it's going to be an interesting fight. Whilst I don't think that it's going to be the war that it was in the first fight, I feel like it's going to be smart and controlled aggression. And the reason why I say this is because both fighters have, matured as fighters. Both fighters have got more experience now. And especially when you look at the likes of Dillian Whyte, who's had so many hard fights in his career. And I think both guys know that they're in the latter stages of their career. So obviously they're thinking long term after boxing, how, life's going to be. So guys will be a lot more mindful of their health, of course. And so I just feel like it's going to be a lot more cautious and a lot more cagey. But the switch will be flicked at some point. And I do think after 3 rounds, someone will start to put the heat on and we will get an all-time classic. But the thing that I wanted to touch on was the pay-per-view price. Now, obviously, a lot of DAZN subscription holders will not be happy about it because they're already being charged a monthly subscription, and then on top of that, there'll be that £26.90 something, I think it is, for the pay-per-view price. Now, this fight, yes, we understand it is a grudge match. It's a big heavyweight fight. There's history there. There's bad blood on the line, but there's nothing on the line except for titles. The only thing that's on the line is the careers of both men. Now, obviously, I do understand that DAZN and Matchroom need to recruit back that money that, they're paying out in purses, because we know Anthony Joshua don't come cheap, and we know that Dillian Whyte also is not cheap. So, of course, they probably had to overpay a little bit to get the fight over the line. However, to charge the fans the price that they've been charging for the pay-per-view, a lot of fans are not happy about that. I don't particularly agree with it. I do think that they could have opted for a model where maybe existing subscription holders could maybe get like a discount, or a few pounds off for the pay-per-view for their loyalty. But hey ho, what can we do? This is boxing. It's all about business. And it makes sense for them to charge that much because it's at the O2 Arena. So obviously they're not going to get as much money from ticket sales as if it were at Wembley. So, it makes sense as to why the pay-per-view prices are up. And to be fair to them, Tyson Fury versus Derek Chisora was also a high-priced pay-per-view. And that fight, we knew that was a one-sided fight. But anyways, let me know what you guys think. How do you think this fight is going to go? Do you think it's a smart move from Team AJ to take on Dillian Whyte, with what's at stake and what's down the line? And do you think Dillian Whyte can resurrect his career and get the win that he's always been talking about getting? Because we know, obviously, ever since the day AJ's defeated him, Dillian has always been mentioning that as a fight that he wants. I'm naming this fight as winner takes all. And the reason why I'm doing that is because both fighters are at that crossroad where whoever loses pretty much is left in no man's land. And whoever wins, or if Dillian Whyte wins, it opens doors for mega paydays for him. And it at least puts some respect back on his name, because his respect has dropped a lot with boxing fans. So a win for Dillian Whyte would open up more big money fights for him and potentially another shot at the world title. And then a win for Anthony Joshua will just keep him on that quest to become a 3-time world champion. Let me know what you guys think. What do you think, is going to happen in this fight? And who do you think is going to be the winner?